What up, everybody? It's Ponter here, and today we've got a very special game. It's another game on Caspian, and I'm doing this because it is a new map, and there have been a lot of good games played on it. This replay is actually from Muku, who sent it to me. It was played in January, so this is the current rendition of the map, and this one's going to be interesting. It's again going to be on the USA side. And just listen to that music. Got the wall going. I should really check out the Caspian map in BF3 to see if there's a lot of similarities, but yeah. So it's going to be another 5v5, and the teams are good. I don't know if they're as good as the last one. Actually, I'd say they are in a certain way. There's going to be some really quick switching. Also interesting. Oh, there's an American flag here. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the map has a cool mechanic. Nuke any team without a warning. Yeah, it's interesting. It's so dumb that you have to warn. And this is going to be Kickapoo saying warn on time, please. That's some foreshadowing if I've ever seen some foreshadowing. Takes 5 seconds to type. Yeah, there's some slurs going. Excellent. And yeah, so this is the team. This is not going to be the actual team. Yeah, every nuke used on this map will be reviewed by the Wick Court. And yeah, don't make us call another session of Wick Court. You'll be in trouble. And so the team we've got now is Kickapoo on inf. That's great. Got the Bakes. I don't know who that is. If you would like to identify yourself, please do. Frankie is gonna drop, but yeah, every time I see a nuke, Peru stealth nuke, Frankie will drop and Studerball will join. Yeah. Special islands. Yeah. Somebody day trades. Oh man, I didn't even read this. Wolf of Wall Street look like a beta. Yeah, apparently there are some. I think Dex has done very well in the markets. At least anybody who bought Nvidia early is probably laughing right now. And so here's the teams. Yeah, the Weesk is going to be the nuke judge. The other team has Spirit Gun, Dex, Augustus. I don't know who Augustus is. He's a good player. Kid A and Small Island. So this time the USSR is slightly weaker, and then Frankie drops. It's stated as a rage quit. Studerball is on point. He joins immediately. Let's go give him the pink color. And here we go. Can the USA team recover? And right off the bat, let's just watch Bakes go in, because Bakes actually does. Look at this. Going backwards with the flares. So good. That's some real nice airplay right there. But look at this. They're doing, it's like a mirror matchup of last time. They're doing double support on the opener, and the Bakes just gets baked by double support. Even though he does some nice moves there, but just gets shredded by double support. Studerball is gonna go air. So they're starting off 4v5. It's not a great start, especially on a map like this where the starts are so critical. Well, they do manage to prevent the cap. Just oh, he gets off. Don't get off. Oh, he kills the inf. That's good. That's good. I've seen the USA side is really vulnerable to pushes like this. Like there was a match. So yeah, they're gonna naturally get the bridge. The USSR team can airbang here and then push over here, and it's devastating. It's just as devastating as rushing in here properly. But the double support is kind of the safer option. Like air has no shot. Like look at this blob. What is this? What is even this blob doing here? I don't know. But yeah, double air is not the play. One of these guys better switch fast and counter this crazy the crazy double support opener, because what we see on this map is a stalemate, and there's going to be 3 phases. It's really a lot like Seaside, where you have 3 phases of play. There's the initial really set piece capping stage. Then you've got the stalemate stage, which we're kind of already in this. There's a stalemate along these lines, basically delineated by the river, and maybe there's some desperate poking and fighting over here. This is really, or over here, or potentially over here, and we'll see that later on. But it is pretty stalematey, and again, shitheads in forests. My God, there's drops in here. Pick lost his sniper. So we're in the stalemate phase, and then the nuke spam phase, which is very, well, I'm going to talk about that later as well, because I think this map is an excellent learning experience for newer players. But what I also want to talk about is the armor play, and I want to talk about how the armor player on most teams is the kind of beating heart of the team. They're the one making the decision where to push, and that's really important on stalematey maps, because if you think about it, to break a stalemate, you need to take a very substantial action. You need to invest a lot of time and resources and TA in kind of deciding where to push, and that decision is really up to the armor player. I think like a Chad infantry player can do it as well, but armor play is really the main one who's going to be doing this. And look at the Studerball just running into mass AA. Like, why haven't they switched yet? It's double support. Has nobody looked? But the armor player, and I have a term for this now, and I think it's related to, you know, General X talks about it, J-Man talks about it, and it's like in General X's guide. If you really want to read it, it's like really long and insane, but he talks about the offensive position taker support and something like this, like where you're really kind of creeping forward and setting the conditions for an offensive. This is the same thing. I think natural state of the armor is to do the offensive position taking armor and to choose where to push. And, you know, you can talk, like, you can choose your Schwerpunkt if you're like kind of on a German LARP. And so it's not just kind of sitting back and with your tanks and sniping at stuff, or it's not just spamming light tanks into areas. It's kind of choosing where am I going to set up my tanks to be ready to push eventually, and then kind of what do I need to do to set conditions to push. And they still haven't switched. Like, what's with this team? Like, why haven't they communicated? Nobody's communicated that, like, hey, they're double support, by the way. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is ridiculous. There's like 6 heavy AAs, and again the shitheads in the woods. Trauma. And like they have so much AA that they are just YOLOing. They might get a cap here. Oh, very close. Very close that they didn't get a cap there. And look, the air is just standing back like little bitches because of all the AA that's getting pushed into them. And they do get the cap. Oh my God. And then in the meantime, I mean, I'm talking about how great it is. Like, I'm going to say how well Muku plays, but I actually didn't notice that these light tanks on the flanks should have been here, and I think Wally is pissed because he sees how, and it's so painful when you get decapped like this, and there goes the Jeeves. There's in from the woods. There's Gun is running a sniper all across the river, and there we go. There's the Bakes has switched. Thank God. Like, look at the air. Look at the air scores right now. Just getting wrapped up. And Augustus, no, Dex's armor. So Augustus must be the air. Yeah, this a real 7 minutes to not switch to armor. I don't know. But while we're waiting for this team to kind of get its act together and get some offensives going, yeah, like, okay, Studerball has dropped a light tank, by the way. What I want to, the concept that I am floating around, it's like we're gonna go into Hegelian philosophy. Obviously, it's very easy to explain concepts with Hegelian philosophies, but he has the concept, like, you must have heard of the word Zeitgeist, which is like spirit of the times, and then you have like Weltgeist, which is the spirit of the world, and I have a concept called Mannschaftsgeist, and I'm butchering the Germans, but basically means team spirit, and it's not the team spirit like, oh, let's go team. That's part of it, But the team spirit that I'm talking about is kind of deciding what the team's going to do. And you can see right here, this is Armor doing Mannschaftgeist. You know, it's picking a new direction to push. It's kind of taking the initiative. And I mean, that's the basic of warfare. You got to take the initiative. I think it's the Armor role's job to take the initiative and to kind of push the team. Okay, we're going to attack here now. Or we're going to do, you know, we're going to get ready to attack here. And we're going to see Muku do this. And I think this is really important for a lot of Armor players. There's going to be some technical stuff, but this is on the more theoretical side of what Armor players have to do. You have to think about, where am I going to attack? And then I need to lead my team. Because like right now, okay, we've got a shithead assault by Kickapoo, unsupported really, but we do have now the double armor. They can help out, start shooting. And there, I think I could have sworn I heard a nuke warning in the replay. I have to double check that. They do warn on the nuke. And there we go. And this is like, this is the pattern on this map. Like, look, they even have Muku's doing light tank drops and defensive arty barrages. But they've just been nibbling away at stuff over here. And see, look, Muku is really setting the conditions. He's got the tanks creeping, got the air support. I'd love to see some AA over here, but I think Wally's really stretched. And here they go. Here's the push. And this is the Mannschaftgeist. This is the team spirit. Like, this is taking the offensive. Like, even though shit's really bad over here, you know, we can't just defend this. Like, this is a losing fight to just defend this kind of poking action. You've got to do a little bit more. And boom, they get a cap. And this is how easy it is to kind of stay in the game. Like, I think I was a little defeatist when I was analyzing this map for the first time. I'm like, how does the USA cope with it? It's so vulnerable over here. Like, you just see this, you know, poking and nuking is just so devastating to the USA here, you know. And look, there's infant in the woods now. This is kind of how you stop it. But again, it's so easy to react. USSR has like this spawn for USSR makes it easy mode. Like, they can get here, they can get there, and they can get there super fast. They don't even have to think about it. Compared to, you know, this team, like, Muku's switching his spawns constantly, and you have to. And here we go. They're planning to do a nuke now, I think, and they're actually gonna have a better placement than our nuke. Well, we'll see. Let's see, because our nuke, the first time we nuked in that last game, we nuked here on the cliff, was not a good spot. And here again, this is Wally. You know, Wally's another player who really is willing to take over a team and kind of lead it to victory. You know, I notice a lot of support players, they're kind of quiet. Who I didn't save. Oh yeah, and this is another. Yeah, a lot of support players are quiet and they just kind of they're passive. They just react to the team. But certain support players will kind of take the lead. That's that offensive position taker support that General X is always stroking off about. And here we go, some interesting river action. Really tough stuff. Yeah, those forts are annoying. And another funny thing about this replay is Kickapoo's constant coping. Like, he's coping hard this game. We'll see. Just really low morale, because I think this map is so tough, and it's like if it goes bad, like, it's just like a constant bleed. It's a really frustrating map to play on the USA side, and it's a constant bleed. Like, it's desperate shit like this is the only thing that works apparently on the USA side. Like, that cap gets them a tick back. And meanwhile, they're just eating double heavy arties here. Oh, this is, you know. Oh yeah, and this is interesting. Yeah, tell him to retreat there and hide in the corner. Like, he doesn't even need support here. But look at the. Oh yeah, so Kitty has switched. I think, yeah, they've went double air now, and Bakes has switched again. He's gonna go. He's gonna go air. And Muku is saving. He's okay, again, communicating to the team. Like, look at this. He tells the team, hey, I've got 50. Drops the nuke immediately. This is, you know, simple communication, guys. You can all learn it. But, well, yeah, nuke 7-second warning, guys. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy to type that. The error kind of flies into it. they got it. Augustus got out, so, and Kidde almost got everything. The Court of Wick judgments. It's so annoying to really expect a team to announce their nukes. Like, it just goes against all thought. And then Kickapoo's coping is reaching new levels. Really bad game. Yeah, there's scattershot. Like, I don't know who dropped those clusters. We've got incomplete drops over here with no inf support. Like, that's a lot of snipers, Kickapoo. That's a lot of snipers. I see 4 snipers right now. That's more than a treat. Like, you were saying you could have a couple snipers as a treat, but 4 snipers is more like a meal. Like a multi-course meal of, and just look at, oh my god, the Super Ball with mixing in a tasteful medium, the Bakes goes mediums. Fucking hate mediums, guys. Stop dropping mediums in pub games. That's all I gotta say. And here we go. It's not, hope is not lost. Kickapoo is following up with some good paras. And maybe if he had a little bit more reinforcement points, he could flood with shitheads. Frankie is catching strays. He's not even in the game. He's catching strays. Unless the Bakes is, unless this is Frankie's like out. No, that can't be Frankie. Yeah, he's just actually just catching strays. He's not even here. And oh, painful. More pokes into the town or the gas station. And we've got AA crushing dudes here. Oh my god, he's just raw dogging Wally. Oh, that's nice stuff. That's nice stuff. I wonder who Augustus is. If you can identify yourself, that would be great. Here we go for the cleanup. More TBs. More desperate. Okay, now Studerball is doing the Jeep drops. Okay, and now we've entered the spam stage. And this is another thing I want to talk about. This is a map that's going to separate the men from the boys and the noobs from the pro players. And it's actually, it's something that I alluded to in that last game where we were looking at it a lot of how soon are people spawning units. And this is really important. It's a skill that's not known by a lot of players, I guess, but the art of spam is what wins maps like this. Same thing with like late game, seaside. The art of the spam is critical. And it comes down to, can you spawn units every 20 seconds and get them in the action as fast as possible? And it is, if you're a boomer with arthritis hands, like, you're not going to have a good spam ability. You know, so I see like pub players like Clark. Like if we ever played this in a pub where they kind of spawn their units and they shuffle them around and they're like, yeah, I got my couple heavy tanks. That's all I need. And then, you know, maybe in a few minutes I'll spawn some stuff. Like that's not what you want to do. Like what Muku is doing, and this is kind of like what every good armor player is doing these days, is just light tanks, and just, you know, do your drop. Spam your light tanks, send them out, shoot your missiles, get your cap. They're going to die immediately, whatever. Move your spawn and start and then spam your units on another side. So I hope Muku is going to move his spawn over here. And you just got to keep moving because you're going to eat arties if you don't move. Or, of course, if you do move, you're going to eat an air player to the face and get wiped. But, you know, it's better than dying to arties. And now he can maybe get a decap here, and that's really important for winning a spammy map like this. Like, you cannot be a passive player. You got to be doing drops. Now Kickapoo's doing light tank drops. And maybe he learned from that last game. Like, this game happened after, you know, chronologically after that game I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. So Kickapoo has learned his lesson. Like, I think he knew that they lost because of those last minute drops. And we're going to see a lot of last minute drops here. But here we go. The spam is working. You know, let's just get light tanks, get them into the fight, do drops, decap stuff, cap stuff. Go, go, go. No time for passivity. I would love to see Muku move his spawn again. And get over here. Or E-Beg for TA. And I think that Riviera game I showed last week, it was a failure on... I mean, people were defending Small Island and Duck afterwards, But I think it's a failure on those guys to spam drops correctly. And, you know, compared to this, like, boom, that's another, Dex is doing another drop, gets another sick cap, keeps that lead going, keeps the air pinned in the spawn, like, just such huge dividends. Here comes Muku again. Again, just spawns the lights and chucks them in. I mean, they're going to eat. Oh, they're just feeding Augustus. This is brutal. Where's the mediums? We need mediums here, guys. But the decapping is enough. And here comes Kickapoo again. He's just going to do some dirty decaps. We're done dirt cheap. Like, those are 8-point drops, I think. I don't know what the Jeeps cost for. I think they're, or maybe they're 68. And then the shithead spam. You know, let's go. Has Muku changed the spawn yet? No, he's just spamming lights into it. I mean, at this point, what can you do? And finally, Wally snipes the scouts and just butchers Augustus. So here we go. We can cook now. We can cook. We got a cap here. Spam in the open. Again, this is where just change your spawn. Boom. Spawn over here. Chuck some lights over here. Chuck some lights over there. Like, you don't need a conga line of lights all the time. Like, you do need to kind of move it around. But here we go. Massive cap from Kickapoo and Wally. You know, Kickapoo is the Mineshaft Geist guy, I think, in this. He's got the coping skills down, the doomering, and he's got the cap in the middle. And that's really all the USA has to do, is just get in there, cap the middle, and go. And there's a cap, a bridge. They push it over. Thank yous. And it's that easy. And then again, the preemptive, look at the preemptive light tank drops. Oh my god. It's definitely that got into his head that last game. And, you know, light tanks everywhere. Not many light tank drops from Muku, but I think he just didn't get the, he wasn't getting the TA juices going as much.
Your reinforcement has arrived.
Or, yeah, there he, okay, no, never mind. He's doing his own drops over there. Just drop spams everywhere, guys. Like, perfect. You know, and this is, you got to get that pub play mentality out of your head. You know, do more drops. Like, offensive TA is not the play. It's just drops in this case. Just play the map. And yeah, that's a nice turnaround. So it can be done. You can win on the USA side. You don't have to be a complete doomer about getting the USA side. But I've seen some dirty plays on USSR. Let's just say it's tough to win, to scrape a win on this map from this side. But it can be done. That's a GG. Thanks, Muku, for sending that replay. Keep sending me the replays. Yeah, Kickapoo was doomering so hard he didn't even realize they won, I think. And yeah, that's a GG. Good game on Caspian. All right. See you guys later.